We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for Action Vision Team Coaching. We're going to dive right in. Paul, anything specifically you'd like to accomplish today?
With this podcast? No, not really.
Jemima, anything you'd like to accomplish today?
Oh, just do some catching up yet.
Homer, anything you'd like to accomplish today?
Oh, the same. Right.
Stephen, anything you'd like to accomplish today?
World peace. No.
Nice. All right. So that's cool. You guys have given me 20 minutes, 29 minutes of your life. So I don't know if anybody's gone through the Financial Freedom book. Let's go through it, see how long it takes. So you go through and see, oh, there's the 7 T's to stewardship: time, talents, treasure, trust, truth, temple, and thought. That's pretty interesting. And then you go through, oh, this is for kids too. That's pretty interesting. Then there's some QR codes if people have it, and it kind of explains it. And then it talks about, personal finances, and then it talks about business finances and time freedom. That's pretty interesting. So I go through here. Oh, it's got an expense tracker, income, expenses, assets, liability, budget. Okay, good. Okay, monthly budget. Interesting. Debt tracking, savings tracking. Okay, that's fascinating. All right, accountability. Nice. Again, more stuff for kids, some personality stuff, how we think matters. And so it talks about personalities, credit card. What about debt? That's pretty interesting. Questions and answers. How do I earn more money? Nice. Can I work from home? What if I own a company? What is a 30-minute gift strategy session? And then part 2 is business, financial, and time freedom. And so it goes through that. Okay. Interesting. Fascinating. Hmm. Hmm. So that took minutes to do. Now, maybe there's more that you guys want to have. If you guys want to go into it in more detail, that's fine. One of the things that we're working on from the meeting that we had as a team is one of the challenges we had is you guys as customers some of them not being good customers. Have we gone through and identified, I don't know, the 10 worst customers? So I'm taking that as a no, although I think a no would be like, no, I haven't done it. Yep, nope, haven't done it. I think that'd be pretty fast. So if you've done it, I think.
I'm not aware that anything has been started.
Okay. You guys might want to do that. You could do that in a working session today. Just who are the top three customers that just irritate you? Living daylights. They don't respond. They're waste time. They're just not good customers. And you could get that over to myself and John and I don't know, Elaine, maybe, and say, here are the top 3 customers. And then Elaine could put that into a spreadsheet and see if they overlap with one another and see if something's going on there. Now, when I build systems, it could be an SOP, it could be anything. I just dive in. And a lot of times you can accomplish crazy amounts in very little time. And so a letter going to our customers, do we have anything going to our customers that are saying, hey, this is how we'd like to have it function? And training them how to be good customers. So
not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking that it's probably so if there's I would hope that if there's something out there that Paul would be aware of it. And if there's not. So what I do is I go ahead and I just say purpose, It's just discipline. A lot of what I do is just discipline. It takes a little bit longer to do it. It takes a little bit longer to do it. And I might say purpose. I might say, why? Why am I doing it? I might list that out. I'm not building the SOP just for myself. I'm building it for future. And then we'd have a letter, a letter to the clients. So in that letter that goes to clients, then what would we go ahead and include in that letter? I don't know, a welcome. And then I go in, explain what we're doing, what purpose, and why. Then I would go ahead and list out the benefits to them. And then I would train them on what we need. Would have a sign off they have a checklist and a sign off that they read and understood. What I do is I go ahead, the purpose, this helps me. I go through here and I say, okay, that's good. That's kind of cool. Here. And I try to build a system as I'm doing the work. It may take 20 minutes or even 100% longer. So rather than take a half an hour, it might take an hour. But if I can put down everything, the next person that's coming along, they're like, oh, this is the purpose. This is why we're doing it. Maybe the goals, why and goals. So what we're trying to do is so then what I do is I put myself in the situation of the customer. And then I try to say, okay, what are they going to be feeling and thinking? Are they going to read it? Are they going to initial it? And so when they go through and you rent a car or you buy something, often they go through something and they walk you through it. And here's the explanation. And so if they do that, if we do that to our customers, is that going to work? Are they going to go ahead and if they read it, how do we make sure, that they read it? And if they read it, are they going to actually follow directions? So you guys are baffled on that question too. You don't want to say, Mark, they're not going to read it. And even if they do read it, they're not going to follow directions.
We have clients that do read it and follow the directions. You can tell when you work on their accounts.
Interesting.
Those are usually not the clients we are making this step for. The ones that are ignorant and not reading is the reason we are creating this.
Interesting, right? Also interesting. So we know based on the 80-20 rule that 20%, 20% of the or 10% of the clients produce 90% of the issues. And so the 10% of the clients that are the ones that are giving us the issues, they're probably not going to read it. And even if they did read it, they wouldn't follow it or understand it. And they have all kinds of reasons as to why. So if I know that already up front,
Really
if I
hard
know
to
that
believe
already
some
up
of them read it because they don't even open their letters.
right. So why are we going to put all this time and energy into it if we're not going to reach the people that, and even if we do reach them, it's not going to work. It kind of seems a little stupid, Mark, if you're asking me. Mark, are you stupid? Sometimes I think I am, honestly. So now what do we do?
Is there ways to put stipulations to it if they don't read it? Like,
Right?
Give
Okay, good.
them a pain point.
Right? Okay, good. Right? Like, we don't go ahead and process your tax return until you've read it, signed off on it, you agree to it.
Maybe there
So,
should be like a clause with additional fees if you don't have
right?
your stuff in order.
Right? Or maybe we bump up, and again, we're brainstorming, right? Like we're brainstorming. There's no bad ideas, right? So it's not like we're not shutting down anybody's ideas. We're just brainstorming here. So what we're doing here is this is a working session. This is a working session, and we're just going to go ahead and come up with ideas. We don't know if any of them will work. So we're in the expressive mode. So we come up with, all kinds of ideas. We throw them against the wall. And then the driver, they're good at selecting the best two or three. Analytic will take those best two or three, flesh them out. And the amiable, if we all agree, the amiable is good at following through execution. So, again, not a good idea. I'm just saying we're brainstorming. We bump up all of our prices. If we're going to bump up, all of our prices 5%. I'm just making this up. I don't know. I haven't talked to John about it. But let's say we're going to bump up all our prices next year by 5%. Well, maybe we bump them up all 15%, unless they read it, sign off on it, and follow through. Then we'll give them a 10% discount. Like, I don't know. So you're right. So what pain point, because I'm a driver personality, this is good for, families. Well, one of the things that was hardest, still hard for me, like, if I say something, it's got to happen. If I don't, it has integrity. If I tell my grandkids, hey, you make a poor choice, you're going to sit down for 5 minutes, I need to think about that choice and consequence. Do I have the energy and am I going to have the energy and discipline? And so sometimes Rosanna would struggle with that when we had our kids. She would tell them stuff and then she wouldn't follow through. And it's like, that will kill you, honey, because then the kids, they're like, is mom serious this time? Like, Dad, he says something, it's going to happen. I'm not a real big fan of counting to 5. I mean, every parent's different, so whatever, if you want to do that. But when are the kids going to respond? At 5? Because you're training them. So for me, it's like, do what I tell you to do, when I tell you to do it, how I tell you to do it, kids, and do it happily. It's really simple. This is not a democracy. This is a benevolent dictatorship. It will continue to be benevolent if you go ahead and are good citizens. If you're not, then you won't. So, so what we have to do is we have to go ahead and say, are we as a team willing? Are we all as a team willing to go ahead and hold people's feet to the fire? Whatever is decided as a team, if there's choices there, this is what we need to do. And then there's always going to be, the exceptions. And the exceptions are the ones that kill us. Because if we make an exception for this situation, well, why not for this one here? But again, it's, we're dealing with human beings. Any questions on any of this?
No, makes a lot of sense now to implement it.
Right. This is easy. Going through, creating a letter, going through and doing this is not hard. This will be pretty easy. The hardest part, bar none, is the implementation.
Yes.
And so we come up with reasons. Well, this is a good client. They don't need to have this. So as soon as we start making exceptions, we wonder why the system didn't work. The reason the SOP or the system didn't work is because we didn't execute it well. In most situations, it's the execution. And the more we put into it, like purpose and what's the goals and this kind of stuff, the more we invest into it, the more likely we are to follow through on it. So, any questions or thoughts on this?
Not right now, no.
And I like to put version numbers 1.00. So I always like version numbers because this thing is going to be an active document. We're going to tweak it. You guys will all get access to it. You guys can go in and make sure that, so are there enhancements? Are there things? There might be a table of contents. So there's a letter for taxes or business taxes or bookkeeping or whatever service. We build this into a system and we go ahead and all use it. We all participate in it. We enhance it when it's not working. Why is it not working? What do we need to do to adjust it? So all of this, we accomplished a lot in 16 minutes. Like, wow, that's a lot that we accomplished. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to write the letter in 15 minutes, especially if you're all on, but I'm fine. We can keep the recording going if you guys want to take off and get work done today. The most important thing is that you guys feel that invested into it. You understand, like this idea came from the meeting that we had, the yearly meeting. So now we're following through. The more that you invest into it, the more likely you're going to be committed to following through. If somebody else does all the work to develop the system, you might think, well, I don't have that much invested into it, so I don't have that much. So if you guys want to stick around, you can. And if you want to take off, you can. Unless, before you take off, is there anybody has any questions on this?
Well, you talked about the pain or the consequences.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be nice, and I don't know that we've ever put this in a letter, but to spell out the consequence of if we have to do your bookkeeping when you bring stuff in for your taxes, it's paid at this rate, or so that they know. I don't know. It's just an idea.
Yeah, and this is where we go ahead. And so, a lot of times it's not, you take everybody's ideas, you come together. The most important piece is that we're all committed. like I may not agree with the final, but you know what? There's parts I agree with, there's parts that I don't agree with. But the thing that's most important is we all agree this is what we're going to do. In the end, once we make a determination to do this, this is what we're going to do. We're committed to doing whatever it is. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And so if there's one person on the team that's not for this, they're kind of against it. They think it's not fair. They think, whatever they think of, they're like, well, that's a little too harsh, So often, which personality is that going to be?
Amiable.
The amiable. Typically, the amiable is like, well, that's not fair to go ahead, and they had a good reason. So the amiable, they're perceived in their own mind and the minds of other people as the nicest of the four personalities. So they'll go ahead and say, well, this is too hard of a policy, and they might even undermine it to a customer. I don't really agree with this. Well, that's not good. That's like mom and dad not being united. Like dad's going one direction, mom's going another direction. This is not a good situation. My kids would go ahead and joke about it when they were smaller. They'd be like, if you want to feel good, talk to mom. If you want to go ahead and fix something, talk to dad. Like dad's a fixer, and you're not going to like what he says. It's going to fix it. Like you won't have it continuing to happen in your life. So feel good, and it'll happen again. Fix it. You'll feel bad, but it won't happen again. So if you guys you're not sold on the policy or the process or whatever, you need to speak up at some point. You don't want to be talking to clients or people outside the team. You want to be talking to the team about it. And when the amiable is being nice to the individual, what are they often failing to realize?
They're not being nice to the others that they work with.
they're not being nice to the other team because that client is not being responsive. They're not being nice to the group as a whole. So often the amiable is nice to the individual, but they're not nice to other individuals that are following the rules, or other people have to do the work. And so they're nice to the individual, but not to all the individuals, just the one that's misbehaving, the ones that's not carrying the line. And so understanding how this works is going to be really important to making it work. Anybody else have anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, you guys jump in and do the other stuff that you have to do today, and we will go ahead and continue to work on this. And as soon as we have this done, we'll get out to you. We'll get out to you probably in a half an hour, whatever we're able to get done, and then it'll continue to be an ongoing process from there. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep, we'll see
Thank you.
Yep, we'll
Yeah.
see you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. So we still need to work on the purpose and the goals, and so we verbalized some of those, but we'll get that cleaned up here. And then, dear valued client, thank you for being a valued client. We appreciate you so much. Every year we have a team meeting at the end of tax season, review what is great, what could be improved, and what actions we will take to serve you and every one of our clients, and every one of our clients better in the future. Again, this is the first draft, so you can modify it as you wish. One great idea we came up with as a team based on input and experience in working with our clients is having a checklist system to help 100% of our clients know what is needed for us to provide an amazing experience for you and all those who refer to us. That's the run-on sentence, but again, it's the first draft. That's okay. Going forward, we commit on our side to do everything possible, fully educate you as to what you need to do on your side to help us on our side to create an amazing experience. We have a passion to provide for you and every client. One thing that clients often don't realize is that there are some documents and or pieces of data that we must have in order to do what we need. And if even one piece of information is not present, we will not be able to complete the work for you. This costs you more money, time, and frustration, and our goal is to help that not happen to you. The following pages will provide a checklist to you as what is needed by us to best help you. Please review over this list to ensure you understand what is needed from you, and then sign the bottom of the checklist. Sincerely, then your name and the team. So we've got a checklist now for, always required, if they're self-employed, investment and rental income, deductions, and tax credits, and foreign income and accounts, and major life events. And then here it says, I have read and understand that this is the best to the best of my ability, and I agree to do my very best to complete this checklist and seek to get 100% of what is needed all at one time to save me as a client, customer, time, money, and frustration. But that's it's the first draft, so it's the start of what it is, and so there's more that could be done. Like, we can explain it, flesh it out, go into it, go through it, and so that's the start. And so good work, very profitable, productive time today. That's the working session. So hopefully this is helpful to everybody. Thanks. Have a blessed day. Bye bye.